The tongue-twisting triumphs of Timmy and Tommy Tumbler. In the tiny, twisted town of Tanglewood, where the willow wails whimsically and the babbling brook babbles boldly beneath the bridge, lived a peculiar pair of twins, Timmy and Tommy Tumbler. These twins took to the town's tradition of talking in tumultuous tongue twisters, a talent taught to toddlers and treasured as a timeless trait. One sunny, slightly soggy Saturday, the Tumbler twins decided to dare the daunting task of delivering the daintiest daisy daffodils to the daunting dour Duchess Drusilla, who dwelt in the drafty drab Draycott, dwelling down the deep, dark, diverging dirt driveway, draped with drooping, dew-drenched dandelions. "Timmy," Tommy told, "to truly triumph today, our tongues must twist and turn, tackling tremendous tongue twisters to totally thrill the tough-to-tickle Duchess Drusilla." Timmy, thinking thoughtfully, then threw together 3 thick, thrilling tongue twisters to try to tickle the tough Duchess's temperament. "She sells seashells by the seashore," he started, "but the shells she sells are surely seashells. So, if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells." Tommy clapped, clearly convinced. "Cracking choice, chum. Let's leap into linguistic limberness and launch our lesson." Laden with luscious, lively daisy daffodils, they left for the Draycott dwelling. Upon their arrival, they were met with the daunting Duchess Drusilla, her demeanor as dour as the drizzling, dreary day. Timmy took the lead. "Dear Duchess Drusilla, do delight in these dainty daisy daffodils delivered directly during daylight." But the Duchess didn't dare to display delight or dismay. Her disposition remained as dour as the drab Draycott dwelling. Not deterred, Tommy tried the first tongue twister. "She sells seashells by the seashore," he started spiritedly. "But the shells she sells are surely seashells, so if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells." The Duchess's eyebrow daringly danced upwards, a hint of humor hiding in her gaze. Encouraged, Timmy tackled the next. "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?" A small smile seemed to spread slowly, surely softening the stern Duchess's stance. Seeing success, Tommy took the final leap. "How can a clam cram in a clean cream can?" he chimed quickly, clearly challenging the tongue twister's trickiness. The Duchess Drusilla, defeated by the delightful display of daunting diction, did what no one in Tanglewood thought possible. She laughed, a loud, lingering laugh that lifted the lingering gloom. "Timmy and Tommy Tumbler," she declared delightedly, "your terrific tongue twisters have truly tickled my temperament today. Tanglewood's tradition triumphs, thanks to your talented tongues." And so, the twins triumphed, taking their talent for tongue twisters to tickle the tough-to-tickle Duchess Drusilla, proving that, in the tiny, twisted town of Tanglewood, even the most daunting of dour dispositions could be delighted by the diligent, delightful delivery of daisy daffodils and dynamic diction. But the tale doesn't terminate there. The talk of the Tumbler twins' triumph traveled throughout Tanglewood, turning them into town treasures. Thrilled by their thumping success, they thought to take their tongue-twisting talent to new territories. Thus, they thought to tackle the Tanglewood Tongue Twister Tournament, a titanic trial that took place every 10 years to test the town's most talented tongues. Timmy and Tommy trained tirelessly, twisting their tongues with tenacious tenacity to tackle the toughest tongue twisters Tanglewood's teachers could tender. The day of the tournament dawned, dazzling and delightful. The whole of Tanglewood turned out, teeming with townsfolk eager to witness this thrilling trial of twisting tongues. Timmy and Tommy, now known throughout Tanglewood as the terrific Tumbler twins, took to the stage, their confidence as conspicuous as their charisma. The competition was compelling, with contenders concocting complex combinations of characters, causing the crowd to chuckle, cheer, and clap. But when the Tumbler twins took their turn, their terrifically twisted tongue twisters took the tournament to a tremendous climax. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. "If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better," Timmy triumphantly twisted, his tongue turning and tumbling over the tricky text. Then Tommy took the stage, tackling another tongue twister with tenacious talent. "If a dog chews shoes, whose shoes does he choose?" he chanted, challenging the chuckling crowd to catch every cleverly crafted word. The twins' performances were peerless, their prowess in tongue twisting palpably pushing the parameters of possibility. The judges, jaw-dropped and jubilant, justly judged the jovial juggernauts of jargon to be the joint champions, a judgment joyously welcomed by the jostling jumble of jubilant townsfolk. But the twins, though thrilled, thought to themselves that true triumph wasn't just in winning, but in weaving their words into the wider world. They wished to wander the world, weaving their whimsical wordplay into the weft of wider wisdom. So they set off from Tanglewood, taking their talents to towns teeming with throngs, thirsting for thrilling tongue twisters. They traversed treacherous trails, trudged through tumultuous terrains, and trekked to towering towns, their tales of twisting tongues tantalizing toddlers to nonagenarians alike. In each town, they tailored their tongue twisters to the traditions, teaching them to the townsfolk, thus threading their talent through the tapestry of tales told from one territory to the next. They transformed the tumbler name into a token of tenacity and talent, turning their once tiny triumph into a titanic testimony of the timeless treasure of tongue twisting. Years yawned on, and the twins' travels took them to territories touched by tales they themselves had once told. They found festivals founded in their fame, competitions commemorating their conquests, and even schools structured to spread the skill of speaking in splendidly spiraling sentences. But as the sun slowly started setting on their saga, the twins turned their thoughts towards Tanglewood. Their hearts hummed with a hunger to head home, to the haven where their hankering for handling hefty heaps of haphazardly hurled words had been honed. Upon their return, Tanglewood treated them to a tumultuous welcome. The town had transformed too, no longer just a tiny, twisted town, but a beacon of brilliant babbling, a capital of cunningly crafted communication, celebrated across the countryside. The twins, touched by the transformation, decided to dedicate their days to developing the next generation of dexterous dialecticians. They founded the Tumbler Tongue Twister Academy, an institution intent on instilling its students with the intricate intricacies of inventively invigorating language. Timmy and Tommy, now teachers, turned their trials and travels into teachings, training their students not just to twist their tongues, but to think thoughtfully about how words wield wonder, wield wisdom, and weave worlds. And so the legacy of the Tumbler twins was locked into the lore of the land, a lasting lesson that language, when leveraged with levity and love, leads to a legacy as lasting as the land itself. Their story, spun from simple tongue twisters, stood as a symbol of the strength of spirit, showing that sometimes the simplest skill, shared sincerely, can shape the substance of society. Generations grew under the guidance of the Tumbler Tongue Twister Academy, each bringing their own brilliance and building upon the bedrock laid by Timmy and Tommy. The Academy, adorned with accolades and awards, became a beacon of brilliance, its influence illuminating not only Tanglewood, but territories far beyond. Tongue twisters, once a mere merry means of mirth, morphed into a method of mastering mindfulness, meditation, and even mediation. As the years yawned wider, the world witnessed wonders wrought by the wordsmiths of Tanglewood. Diplomats trained in the delicate dance of diction diffused disputes with the deftness of their dialogue, their tongues twisting not just for triumph, but for the tranquility of nations. Scientists, schooled in the succinctness of speech, simplified the sprawling, spidery complexities of their subjects into something that sang to the soul of society, making marvels of the modern world more meaningful to the masses. Even artists and authors, inspired by the intricate inventiveness of the Tumbler twins, wove words into works that waltzed across the walls and waves of the world, wrapping reality in the radiant raiment of imagination. Tongue twisters, in their twisting and turning, taught the tactile touch needed to treat the textures of human emotion and experience. And in this world woven with words, where every child knew the twists and turns of tongue twisters as if they were the paths through their own hearts, The Tumbler Tongue Twister Academy stood as a testament to the twins' belief that the power of language lay not in the words themselves, but in the joy, the jest, and the gentle jesting they could bring into the lives of others. The academy expanded, its branches spreading like the willow wales of Tanglewood, reaching into realms once reckoned remote. Each branch bore the banner of the Tumbler twins, teaching not just the twisting of tongues, but the turning of minds towards tolerance, teamwork, and tenacity. As for Timmy and Tommy, their twilight years were tinted with the tranquil satisfaction of seeing their simple love for tongue twisters transform into a treasure trove of teachings, touching lives in ways they had never dared dream. They often sat together on the very bridge over the babbling brook beneath which their journey had begun, watching the water wend its way through the world, much like their words. And when the time came for the twins to tread the final trail, the town of Tanglewood didn't mourn, but celebrated. A festival was founded, the Festival of Fanciful Phrases, celebrated every year on the day the twins took their last breath. It was a day dedicated not to sadness, but to the splendor of speech, a reminder that words wield the power to weave us together, to turn towns into territories of togetherness, and to teach us that, even in our silence, our stories can still speak. Thus, the legacy of Timmy and Tommy Tumbler twirled and twisted through time, a tapestry of tongue twisters turning the simple into the sublime, proving that even the most playful paths can lead to profound destinations. And in Tanglewood, where the willow still wails whimsically and the babbling brook babbles boldly beneath the bridge, the spirit of the twins tumbles and turns forever in the tongues of those who traverse the town, a timeless testament to the tender power of twisting tongues. As years yawned into decades, the Tumbler Tongue Twister Academy became a beacon of brilliance, its fame fluttering far beyond the fertile fields of Tanglewood. Timmy and Tommy, the twins who had once twisted their tongues for mere amusement and a duchess's delight, had woven a legacy that laced through generations, guiding gaggles of gifted gabbers to greatness. Their students, spirited and spunky, spread across the spectrum of society, from spirited speakers on splendid stages to teachers training the tender minds of tomorrow. The tradition of tongue twisters transformed, transcending mere mirth to become a medium for mastering meticulous articulation, a tool for teaching tenacity, and a path to profound personal growth. As time tiptoed on tender toes, the twins realized their twilight years were upon them. They took to the top of Tanglewood's tallest tower, a testament to their teachings and triumphs, now turned into a tranquil lookout over the town they transformed. There, they gazed out upon their legacy, the laughter and lively linguistics lilting up from the lanes below. "It's truly tremendous," Timmy mused, his eyes twinkling with the tears of tender memories. "To think that our trivial pursuit of tongue-twisting tomfoolery would turn into this towering testament to the tenacity of Tanglewood." "True, truly true," Tommy added, his voice vibrating with venerable vigor. "But let's not linger on the legacy we leave behind, but rather revel in the rich, radiant road we've roamed. For our real reward lies not in the laurels laid at our feet, but in the laughter and learning we've laced into the lives of others." And with that, the twins turned their thoughts to crafting one final tongue twister, a testament to their time and teachings, a twisty, tantalizing tongue teaser to be told through the ages. They toiled through the twilight, their minds melding in mutual muse, until at last, they laid down their pens, their masterpiece made. Two tireless twins, Timmy and Tommy, taught Tanglewood to twist and turn tongues, taking talkative tumbles through tempests of terms. Their teachings, threaded through time, transformed timid talkers into towering titans of tongue-twisting talent. With their final feat of linguistic legerdemain laid down, the twins knew their time had come. They did not dread the dusk of their days, for they had danced a delightful dance, and their duet had done what few dared dream. The next day, the town of Tanglewood gathered to give gratitude to their greatest guardians. The twins, surrounded by the scores of students, friends, and family their lives had touched, shared smiles that spoke volumes of their voyage. As the sun set on the Tumbler twins for the final time, their spirits soared, knowing they had sown seeds of strength, silliness, and sagacity that would sprout and spread for generations to come. And as the stars started to sprinkle the sky, a soft, serene silence settled over Tanglewood, a silence that sang of the sweet, spiraling saga of Timmy and Tommy Tumbler. Their legacy was not just in the labyrinthine lingual loops they left behind, but in the light they lit in the hearts of those they taught to laugh, to learn, and to love the lavish luxury of language. And in this way, the tale of the Tumbler twins would never truly terminate, for as long as words wove wonder into the world, their spirits would survive, spinning and spiraling through the stories and smiles of every soul they had touched.